Well, hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everybody in Facebook land. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick. I've got Andrew McKinney up in Michigan. I'm here in North Dakota. We're having the coldest day of the winter
Bird.
today.
It's
Today.
pretty cold here, so you just keep that coldness there.
But what I like, Andrea, is I switched to and this has nothing to do with what our call today is, but, just talking. I switched furnaces. I put a new furnace in last fall. Got it done in October, and they put in natural gas, and holy cow, folks, I mean, it really heats the house. I love it. This morning I got up and I thought, it's the coldest day of the year so far. I'm going to crank the heat up. I'm going to pretend like I'm in Florida or something.
Right? I do that sometimes.
It's 75 degrees in here. It's nice. Normally, today, I'm jumping on an airplane and I'm heading to Australia. Last 4 years, that's what I've done.
Right. I get
Today.
these cold days in the winter and I crank my heat up and put Jimmy Buffett on.
Jimmy Buffett, there you go. Is he any relation to Warren Buffett?
No. Not even close.
Not even close. Well, there you go. Okay. Well, hey, today we really wanted to talk about toxicity in our environment. It's a major problem. I remember back when I first got to be a chiropractor, I was studying on, why are so many people getting cancer? And of course, all of the drug companies and all the research companies, they all wanted to come up with a treatment, right?
Right.
That's where the money was. They wanted to come up with a treatment. We got the treatment for cancer. We got the treatment for this. We got the treatment for that. And really, at that time, their focus should have been on we found the cause.
Not application, but removal.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, you look back, 100 years ago or so, a little bit more than 100 years ago, the number of people that had cancer, the number of people that died of cancer was way low compared to today. And some people, they try and tell me, they say, well, it's because we have more people. No, the percentage of people dying was less from cancer.
Yeah, when I was a kid, nobody talked about cancer. It was not common to talk about it. And I think I was about 16 because I just started driving. I learned that my uncle had cancer and I was like shocked. Like, you never heard of anyone getting cancer.
That's how it was for me too. And we think about it, it was it was more rare than it is today. Today we all know somebody personally in our family or friends in our list of friends that have died of cancer. So it's hit home,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of things that cause it. But so when I was doing my reading up on things, years ago, I mean, I was young. I was only about 10 years old when President Nixon was president. But he started the President's Council on Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And they said at that time, they said, we will have a cure for cancer within 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
That was a long time ago.
And then a number of other groups came out with the same message, and the message was always the same. 5 to 10 years, we're going to have a cure for this thing, right? And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And over the course of the last, 40 years, 50 years, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And now, on the American Cancer website, they say, hey, we finally see that on some of these major cancers, the cancer death rate has actually dropped. But what do they consider when they're doing that research? They look at it, the 5-year survival rate. So they make it so you can live 5 years longer. But are you really living?
It depends. I know people who had cancer over 5 years ago and they're doing fine.
Right. But what I'm saying is that on the average over those 5 years, most people, you just see their graph kind of going like this. It goes downhill. Yeah. So So the treatment, what I'm saying is that the treatment isn't really working. The treatment method, the researching it that way, and so a lot of researchers are saying that, hey, let's go after the cause. And
Yeah. How about
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Novel idea.
So what are they saying is the cause? They're saying toxicity in our environment.
Yeah.
Toxicity in our environment. And so we have to look at that and we have to say, okay, what can we do? So this call isn't on cancer. And I'm sorry if that's the way I started out making it sound like that's what it was about. This call is really on what can you do to make your home safer so that you lower your risk of any disease,
Correct.
right? Right. And so I I brought a couple of things, a couple different products that are what we call sizzle safe. Because when you take a look at the EPA, the FDA in the United States, I mean we've banned how many ingredients? Like
I don't
very
know.
few.
Do they ban anything?
Oh yeah, I think it's less than 100 actual ingredients are actually banned from being used in personal care products and home care products. Then you look at the European Union. I think they have 1,300 ingredients that are banned.
Right.
And I might be off of my numbers, but it's somewhere around that. And you start looking at some of these ingredients, and you're going, "Holy cow!" I mean, this is some dangerous stuff that's out there. I remember Tom Senior. He was talking about when he was working for that chemical company, and they said, "Hey, we want you to come up with a new shampoo. We got companies that want us to sell shampoo to them." And Tom said he went up in his bathroom at home, and he pulled the products out, and he started looking at me like, "Holy cow, look what's in here." And that's really how Tom got into into the industry.
Right. Sizzle safe.
That's how Sizzle was born, was because of the brainchild of Tom Maurer. He wanted Tom Maurer Sr. and his son Tom Maurer Jr. They wanted to come up with products that were safe for you to use in your home. That's how it started. And it started a lot with some cleaning products. I remember Tom telling the story, and I'm sure you've heard the story of his two boys, Tom Jr. and Derek. They would pull around a cart, a wagon, around the neighborhood where they lived in Springville, and they would sell their products door to door, cleaning products.
How about that?
They would go to grocery stores and they'd bring the products there and they'd say, "Hey, can we put this on your shelf? It's a safe product." They started selling them to large companies for cleaning their floors because it was cost effective and they were great products. So that's really a lot of it. But
It's the great American dream.
so I was just reading on the American Cancer website, American Cancer Society website this morning. They said even products that are sold as green can cause problems. Because I'll talk to people about the products that I use, and they say, "Oh yeah, I go to you know such and such store. I'm not going to name any name stores," and they say I buy green products there.
Right.
And they say I like to buy them that way because I can have them. Like I run out today, I can go buy some today. And so the American Cancer Society says, wait, wait, wait. Those products aren't necessarily that much safer than your non-green products because of the ingredients that they get to use because so many ingredients aren't banned in the United States. This is the American Cancer Society website.
Right.
So they went on to talk about natural fragrances for a minute, natural fragrances. When it says natural fragrances, chances are it contains something that's toxic. Unless
Yeah.
you know,
You have to
unless you
really
know
be
the
careful.
company. Yeah, unless you know the company. Even when they have like citrus, it can cause problems. It can be a pollutant. So you have to know your company. Um, Aerosols, air fresheners, we see a lot of these air fresheners that you plug in, you hang, all that stuff. It makes your car smell like a new car, even though your car's 20 years old. Um, you know, that
Those
stuff,
are absolutely toxic.
they're not safe for you.
Absolutely.
Chlorine is I mean, it's natural, right? Chlorine's natural.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people say, well, I use natural product, but it contains chlorine. So what does chlorine do? Chlorine is a thyroid disruptor,
Ah,
right? And you remember why? Do you remember your high school chemistry?
no, I don't.
No. You remember the periodic table though, the columns and the
Mm-hmm.
rows. Yeah, I remember learning that way back in high school. You had hydrogen over here and helium over here, and then you had the column with iodine and fluoride and chlorine and bromine and all that. Remember that?
No, I do not, Doc.
You don't remember that. So someday we'll just do a call just on the periodic table, the periodic chart. But
Spare us.
so so what that all means, and folks, there's no quiz on this later or anything like that. But you got the nucleus, and then you got the electrons that float around it,
Yes.
and they float around in different rings. So you might have a pair of electrons here, and then another pair, and then another pair, and another pair, and another pair, right? And so they're putting to their column based on the number of electrons they have. And so when you look at the chlorine and the fluoride and the iodine, they have the same number of free electrons in that outer shell. They're not paired up. So what that means is that they can substitute themselves for each other in your body.
Okay.
And so we look at the thyroid. The thyroid needs iodine. Well,
Right.
iodine has the same number of free electrons in the outer ring as
Yeah.
chlorine or fluoride or bromide. And what happens is that the iodine gets knocked out by the fluoride or the chlorine, and it causes problems with the thyroid. That's how it causes problems. So now your body makes thyroxine, the hormone that's made in the thyroid, and instead of having iodine, it has chlorine in its place, or it has fluoride in its place. Does that make sense? Why
Mm-hmm.
that's not
Well,
good?
yeah, totally. Because, electrons, electricity, it's all about the frequency of these things too. You can't just look at it as a substance. You got to look at the energy of it, and I often, like at night, I have some supplements I keep on my nightstand, and I usually take my phone in there, or I have a TV on in that area. And I always put my supplements away from those things because the exchange of energy and frequency happens. So, I've gone in people's houses and they've got Raid sitting in their cupboard with their food products. I'm like, what? Like, what are you doing?
Well, just in
So
case.
you have to look at that too. You don't just look at it as a substance that can be contained. It has energy, and that energy is giving off all the time. So you have to protect your supplements from chemicals, and your chemicals you from your chemicals.
That's right. So manufacturers, they say, "Oh, Andrea, you're nuts."
Yeah, a lot of
That's
people say that.
you're nuts. That whole thing about energy, you're nuts on that. They say there's no problem when we use these things in very small amounts. There's so little in there, right? So I used to I'd take a glass of water like this, and then I'd take an eyedropper with blue food coloring, and I just put a drop in the water, and I'd hand it to somebody and said, I just put lead in there. Would you drink it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and most people would say no. And if that's lead, I won't drink it. And I'd say, well, let me just cut down the amount of lead. I'll give you only a half drop. I'll give you a quarter drop. I'll give you just a minuscule amount, and I'll put it in your water. Would you drink it?
Nope.
No. Why not?
Yeah, we do.
Why not? Why wouldn't you drink it?
Because it transfers into the body.
You saw me put the lead in the bottle. That's why. But you go to your tap and you take that water out of there, right? You go to your cupboard, you take that canned food out of there, and they tell you, they say those cans have a plastic liner so that it lasts longer, and that plastic liner leaches into the food eventually. And then when you eat that food, those BPA's from that plastic gets into your food and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in your skincare products, and here, let me bring up a screen here. Um,
Well, while you're doing that, we've brought up before that you can measure anything that your skin touches, in 20 seconds in the urine.
yeah,
And also, I know in essential oils, if you just put a drop of essential oil on the bottom of your foot, within minutes, it's all through your body. So touching these products and, having access to them and stuff does create a huge difference in your body, even though you had a tiny, tiny amount.
that's right. So you look at this. This is common toxic chemicals found in household products. Alpha hydroxy acids. Hydroxy. When you see the alpha hydroxy, right? I mean, we've talked about that. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's the most common um, toxin in your body, right?
Free
Cosmetics,
radical.
skin cream, free radicals, yeah. Facial peels causes redness, peeling, and irritation. I go, oh, that's not so bad. I'll deal with some redness if I can look great tomorrow, right? And I've seen people get chemical peels, and that's what they tell me. Aluminum. Aluminum is found in your antiperspirants, and it causes problems with the central nervous system. It's related to Alzheimer's disease and neural degeneration. The benzones, the benzone rings. It's a lot of fragrances and things like that. It can cause problems. You got bisphenol A, like we were just talking about, found in plastic. We've got DEA, MEA, TEA, which are emulsifiers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Diethylamines, and triethylamines, things like that. And you see that list and you go, oh, I don't know what it is. It must be safe. But the U.S. Department of Health toxicity program shows that these things are toxic. And you got the 1,4-dioxanes, and you don't see it listed as one. Sometimes you'll see 1,4-dioxane, but it'll be listed as PEGs, polyethylene glycols, and they
Right.
put that in products. And why do you think they put that in there? Well, it's not because it's good for you. It's because it makes the product last longer. And it's
Mm-hmm.
known as an endocrine disruptor, which means that it converts your female hormones into male hormones. It makes the female hormones toxic. We've got fluoride in the teeth, that in toothpaste and other things. We've got formaldehydes, and you think, why would they put formaldehyde in there? But even in baby shampoos, they're using baby products. They got formaldehydes in there. In other cosmetics, we've got lanolin and laureth and mineral oils and PABA, which is para-amino-benzoic acid, and other benzone. It's found in a lot of skincare products. You'll see it in sunscreen. Parabens, and people used to say, "Oh, paraben, that's paraffin," and they think of it as like wax. Well, that's good. That's not bad for you, but it's a petroleum product. You got polyethylene glycol and propylene glycol and polysorbates and phthalates and quaternariums, retinol palmitates, the sodium lauryl sulfate, which is found in a lot of products, talc, talc. Talc is even found in condoms. Did you know that it's put on the condoms to make them as a lubricant, and they found that it causes
Really?
cancer. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can have sex and get cancer. How's that?
That's not good.
Right? It's just what you want to have, right? And so there's that. If you want a copy of this, give me a shout. Just email me, and I'll shoot you over a copy of what's on my screen right now. But Andrea, can you hide from this stuff?
Not really. You can do your best though. You can try to eliminate as many toxins from your environment as you can.
Yeah, that's the goal. Is try to eliminate the ones that you can, and try and stay away from the ones that you can, and then do a detox to remove the stuff. But here, let me show you another one here. Um, let's see. I think this one here, right? So here's a checklist that you can use, right? When you go to your store and you're buying your different products, right? I mean, when I go buy my bronzer, I'm always careful about which one I buy,
Yes, sure.
you know, because I want to look tan, but isn't that what a bronzer is? It makes you look tan, gives you a darker skin appearance,
Yeah.
right? And then when I use my makeup remover, I'm always using a safe makeup remover. It's called soap.
Well, you have to get safe soap.
But you look at all these different things here, and you start thinking, holy cow, I buy all those things. I mean, shampoo, conditioner, um,
Hmm.
hair gel, toothpaste, mouth rinse, shower gel. I don't buy bubble bath. Hand cleaner, hand lotion. I don't buy hand lotion. Facial cleansers, shaving gel, face and neck cream. I use that. Look at my skin, Andrew. I'll be 59 years old this year. I have to say, I think my skin looks pretty darn good.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
look a lot younger than you did when I first met you 4 years ago.
yeah, for a guy especially. Yeah, laundry detergent. Who thinks of buying safe laundry detergent?
I do.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
most people don't.
that was actually one of the things that I was most interested in was safe toothpaste and safe laundry detergent when I discovered Sizzle.
Is that
Because
right?
I had been looking, yeah, I was like, I need a really safe product here. And you go to the local store and kind of look around. I wasn't impressed with what I was finding, especially in toothpaste. I wasn't impressed.
Mm-hmm.
And those were the two household items that I was really looking for to find a safe solution.
All right. Well, I was looking for shimmer powder and liquid foundation.
Oh, I bet. I bet you didn't even know what it was.
I still don't know what those things are. But so I just brought a couple products that we have. Here's one. It's called Exfolium. It's used for getting off the old dead dry skin, right?
Yeah,
And
toxins and impurities in your skin. It works great. You just rub it on, you wait about a minute and start rolling them all off. It's fabulous.
that's right. I might even demonstrate it on my hand here. Hang on a second. See if I can see if it. So this is the product,
Mm-hmm. Shake it up.
and I already did. Yep. So then you
Okay.
dip in here, and then I'm going to put it on my hand. Okay. So I'm going to rub it on here now. Watch what happens.
You're going to put your hand up a little bit and tip it toward the camera. There you go.
See this here. You see the bite marks? My new puppy. I might not. I use these kind of things all the time, so I might not have any um, dead dry skin. Let that kind of
Yeah, you
dry
just
in there
got
a
to
little
let
bit.
it set just a little bit.
Yep. So, well, but what it does is it pulls all that old dead dry skin off. It uses a vitamin C extract from a lime out of the southern hemisphere. It's
Cool.
50 times more potent than the vitamin C that you get from lemons and things like that. Yeah.
Ah,
But I'll come back to that and let that dry a little bit. But you know, cleaning products. We came out with this.
yeah, I have that.
Yep. Mine's used up. I got a couple more bottles, but
I
um,
was looking for this too because 10 years ago, I really damaged my lungs doing a remodeling job with a lot of paint fumes. And so
hmm
I can't use the Windex, I can't use bleach, I can't use any of those normal things. So I was super happy when Sizzle came out with this.
So this is good for general cleaning. And like I clean my carpet with it. I clean windows with it, and the car windows on my car. Um, I clean the bathroom. Well, I want to be honest with you. I have a cleaning lady that comes in. She uses it, and she uses this for cleaning the tile floors that I have in my house, my hardwood floors. She uses this, and and it's safe to use. You know, it's it doesn't have all the toxins in it. I was just looking to
That's
see
right.
where it's. where it says the ingredients on it, because I would like you to, it's got directions, it's got that,
Well,
it's
the
got,
thing is too that this is just a concentrated bottle of cleanser. So you mix like an ounce of this with 32 ounces, I think, 16 or 32 ounces.
yep.
And it's like you get a whole bottle of cleanser for like $1.60 or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's got limonene. It's got colloidal silver. We've all heard of people, especially with
Mm-hmm.
what happened last year, colloidal silver. They found that that was really good on killing viruses. We won't list any viruses. It's got copper. You see people talking about using copper, isopropyl alcohol, and the stabilized chlorine dioxide, right, which kills
Yeah.
bacteria and viruses on contact. That's what's in here, and water. And then this is a super concentrate. So you just mix 2 fluid ounces with 30 fluid ounces of water. You can put that in a spray bottle. You can spray your countertops with it. What a great product. Sounds like I should be on the Home Shopping Network or something like that.
Yes. Yes. We'll do
Right?
my Vanna
Right?
thing. Ta-da!
So you normally with that exfolium, when you put it on, you rub it into the skin, and it beads up the old dead dry skin. But I had already used some today, so um, antiperspirant,
Mm-hmm.
right? It doesn't have any of the BPA. It doesn't have any of the aluminum in it. Um,
Right.
Shaving cream, shaving gel. I guess it's a gel. It's not a cream. Um, and I found when I use this compared to when I used to use like the other stuff. Again,
Mm-hmm.
not mentioning names, but I don't get any of the ingrown hairs and things like that. I really find that it gives me a good shave. Um, Toothpaste with
Yep.
no fluoride. Yep.
And this
You know
goes
what?
right along with that.
Oh, and I'm out of the mouth rinse, but you can tell by my breath. Can you smell that?
No, but
But
I'll tell you a little story. Last spring, I was due for a dental appointment and couldn't go because it was all shut down. And I got some kind of infection in my tooth. And I was like, oh, how am I going to deal with this? And it was pretty sore, bothering me all day. I started pushing with this like 3, 4 times a day, cleared it right up.
cleared it right up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got a special form of calcium. It's got a couple other things that there was a study that came out last year, and I don't remember where the study is. I got it on my computer saved somewhere, and it said that you could rebuild the outside of the enamel layer on your teeth with a special form of calcium. And I was sharing that with Tom Senior, and he said, "Well, that's what's in there."
Of course he put it in there.
And he said that's not new science. And I'm like, oh wow, okay, thanks. But those are the little things that people don't realize. Cucumber lime hand soap, and
Love that stuff. I love it. Like you can do one little drop of that and it will clean your hands.
yep,
It's great.
it's
And I don't think my hands have ever felt so clean.
it's got the colloidal silver, the nano colloidal. It's actually got nano colloidal silver in it, and it's got a few other things, but it kills the bacteria and the viruses. When I went to Australia last year, because they were warning us about this whole COVID thing, um, I brought this with me. I put it in little bottles so that I could take it
Mm-hmm.
on the airplane with me, and that's what I used instead of using their stuff, because the all of your antibacterial soaps that they've gotten us so used to using contain something called triclosan. And I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
way back when, in the early 90s, when triclosan first came out and antibacterial soap, and I said, hey, I said, according to the EPA, that's dangerous. It's not good. It's an endocrine disruptor. And they were putting it in everything. They were putting it in baby products. It's even in a lot of toothpaste. Did you know that?
No.
you know and so it's it's uh it's something that the EPA now is trying to get the companies to phase out using, and Minnesota was the first state to ban it in any kind of a product that was used in a government office, in a state-run office. You couldn't have any product with triclosan in it. And
Because
you
it
know
was in
why?
the hand sanitizers too.
Yep. Oh yeah. But you know why they banned it in Minnesota?
No, that's one good thing Minnesota did. Tell me about it.
They found out that it was getting into the water and it was killing the fish. And Minnesota
Oh.
makes they make a lot of money with fishing in the fishing industry, and
Mm-hmm.
so they did it because hey, we can't kill the fish, but you can still use it at home.
Right.
Just don't bathe in the lake, right?
I
Um,
see.
Now this might be it. I think this is an old bottle, but this is the hair conditioner. I still have some old stuff on stock. You know, I stocked up on that a while back when they had a Christmas Black Friday sale. I bought some of that, and so it doesn't have all the stuff in it. And people say, well, what's in the shampoo that you're all talking about? And sodium lauryl sulfates, right? And sodium lauryl
Yes.
sulfate, it's one of the main ingredients found in the spray that they use to kill trees and things like that, foliage.
Yeah,
It's
almost all hair products. If you go
yeah,
check your house, almost all hair products and soaps have that in it.
yep, and it causes cancer. Um, they talk about parabens. You see paraben on the label a lot, right? And paraben, it's a preservative. It just makes the product last longer. It doesn't make the product any better for you. It's got phthalates. Phthalates are a reproduction problem, and they're put in there again. The only reason it's put in there is to make the product last longer on the shelf.
Right.
Put it in smaller bottles and maybe lower the price, and then we'll buy the product more often. I don't know. If you have to do that.
Let's
Propylene glycol, PEG. It's put
mhm.
in there to make the
Okay.
product more hydrating, right? It causes kidney problems. It causes liver problems. It causes nervous system problems. We were talking about DEA, diethylamine amines, and diethylamines, and those are solvents. They're related to cancer. Formaldehydes. It's found in shampoos and cosmetics and mineral oils and talc, like we were talking about. Aluminum, um, and then fluoride, which you know again, Alzheimer's, and they're saying that by the year 2050, that Alzheimer's could be a major, major problem in not just in our country but in the world.
Well, I want to just hop back to sodium lauryl sulfate for a minute. I remember hearing a video by Tom, and he likened it to Agent Orange. So I think that's kind of a mental peg that people can relate to in their brain, at least the older generation understands what Agent Orange is, what it did, and what it is still doing to people.
Yeah.
So it's like you're putting that on your head every time you use shampoo with that.
Yeah,
It,
yeah, yeah, Andrea, but you're just one of those paranoid, schizophrenic type people. I'm only putting
no,
a
I'm
little bit in
not.
there.
Don't you claim that over me.
I'm just putting a little bit in your shampoo. It's not,
Right.
it's not, it's not enough to cause a problem.
Right.
Trust me, it's
But,
not enough.
do it every day. Put it on your child's head every day. Put it on your baby's body every day. You know?
Yeah. Or look at this. By the time you get up and get going for your day, most women, I'm not going to say you, but most women have used 168 different toxic chemicals. They put them on their body or in their body by the time they get going for the day.
Women have a toxic overload 65% from their personal care products.
That's right. That's right. They said that in every single case of breast cancer that they've tested, they found evidence of BPA, bisphenol A. It's a plasticizer,
Mhm.
right? And you know, I'm telling you, men have an average of 85 different toxic chemicals that they put on or in their body before the time they get going for the day,
Mm-hmm.
right? What if we just what if we just said, hey, Andrea, I know that you can't make a big change and you're not going to get rid of everything that we just talked about. You know, you're not going to do that. But what if you just said, okay, this year I'm going to change 10% of what I do to be a non-toxic. I'm going to
Right.
switch to, you know, a safe toothpaste and a safe hand wash. That's all I'm going to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's something that you do multiple times per day on both these products. And if you started doing that and you start making your life 10% safer by doing that, okay? Then next year, you've gotten used to that and you go, oh, that wasn't so bad. It didn't hurt. And now you say, I'm going to switch shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah.
Right. And all of a sudden you're going, well, that's not so bad. And people say, yeah, but how will I know if it's working?
Well, how do you know the one you're buying is working?
How do you know the one that you're buying is toxic? Well, you find out later. Do you want to find out later?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I'm going by the studies that are coming out. Like I said, the American Cancer Society, Harvard Medical. That's who's writing these. When I take these notes, I go through the computer in the morning before I do this call, and I make these notes because I want to have the right information.
Science.
Yeah, science. And that's. I mean, presidencies have been won on science, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but if you take a look and they say they're green, they can say that they're green because they take out one toxic ingredient and they substitute. But what about all the rest of them?
Yeah, it's label manipulation, just like calling a food natural, but it's really, you've called it natural because that's part of the name, but it's not really natural. Yeah,
that's right. And that's the problem, is that we're living in a world of deception where they can tell us whatever they want to tell us. There's no regulatory bodies, and we have to just look at it. I mean, the FDA is too busy. How many new chemicals get introduced each year, right? Thousands, right? And tens of thousands, and and all these new products, and they got to look over that stuff, and so they kind of grandfathered in a lot of chemicals into the cosmetic and food industry, and they just said, well, we're already using them, and they nobody died. They said nobody died, so we'll just keep using them, and yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yep. So, our challenge to anyone watching this is, take a step forward. Take a step forward to remove some toxins from your lifestyle.
That's right. So, all right. Well, we've gone over again. We always seem to go over time, don't we? Even when it's a topic that we can cover pretty quickly. But if you have any questions about anything, if you want a copy of those sheets, those data sheets, just shoot me over an email, docfizz@me.com, DOCFIZZ @me.com, docfizz@me.com. Shoot me over an email. I'll send you over a copy of that. I have no problem with that. And that's what it's all about. Let's share this information. Let's teach people how to be healthier. And, in the long run, Andrea, when we're both 110 years old, we'll look back at this and we'll go, hey, remember that day that we were talking about that? And all of a sudden, 10 years later, the government agency came out with a study and said, oh, they were right.
Yeah, how about that? Happens often.
Doc Fizz was right again.
Yep.
So, all right, I'll let you close out the call. Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Enjoy February 26th, 2020.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, Doc.
I'll let you close this out.
For you who are, just joining us for the first time, or maybe the first few times, we do this call every Tuesday at noon Eastern time on this Facebook channel called Doctor's Clinic, Doc Fizz with Friends. And you can tune in. If you can't make it at noon, it's always in there. And you can scroll back and see different topics we've covered for almost the last 2.5 years, Doc. So a lot of good information in there. Go ahead and become a member of that page so you don't miss out on future lives that we do. And we hope to see you next Tuesday. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.